didn't want anything much to be done to the land, but a friend of ours, Ron Cox, he decided to, and with our support, to build a little platform out on the edge of the land, just overlooking the White Place, for people to gather or camp out or whatever. That was one of the things we did for it, and he was guided step by step. We traveled to England and Spain and Scotland and visited several labyrinths, so we became fascinated with labyrinths. Well, Sonia, she had the ability to communicate somewhat with nature spirits or trees, and she had on this land here what she called her grandfather tree that she talked to now and then. And one day the tree consciousness said, build a temple. And she thought, well, we don't build temples. And so she pondered that a bit. She decided, well, we'll just build a labyrinth and call that our temple. And so that's what we did. We, under the direction of a labyrinth builder, we built standard 7-circuit labyrinths. Same kind of design that was first found in the island of Crete about 3500 BC. And they're found around the world. So here we have one of those on our land for people to walk and enjoy. And after we built the labyrinth, we decided, well, why don't we build just a small building for people to come and sit and meditate or whatever. So we built a little sanctuary that I'm sitting in right now. On winter solstice, December 21st, we would have a ceremony of walking the labyrinth, and we set out 365 candles on the labyrinth. So that was quite a ceremony. Okay, over time in my life, I've had developed the ability to perceive to some extent in the realms and the realms and the higher dimensions of other realities beyond this physical world in which we live. And so it gave me the ability to see and pick up some information and some images of the ancient ones here. Because from my experience and other people's experience, some of the ancient ones who have lived here, who knows how many years ago, they are still overlooking this place and trying to preserve it the best they can from where they are. And so, I'll just give you some of the experiences that have had in communicating with them. Several times I had the image of 6 Native American women, the ancient ones, who were still in this territory. And 3 of my friends, when they came out to be on the land and ceremony and all that, they were aware of these 3 Native American women in the other realms, the ancient ones. And so several examples of our experience. One time we found a roadkill snake on the road, and so we wanted to bring it back home and honor it and then bury it, return it to the earth. So we took it out to the land not far from where the arbor is now, and decided to bury it there. so we started a little meditation and thinking about the snake, what it was, and what it's done in its life, and honoring and then returning to the earth. And as we were doing our little ceremony, I was aware something was happening just above us. These 6 Native American women were in a dance circling around us, just above us. Like the Native Americans do their dance. And just inside of the circle were 4 Native American young men, one of each of the 4 directions. And at regular intervals, the men would leap to the center and then back, just like a snake striking. And I was also aware of a very slow drum beat. It was a very slow dance the women were moving through. And so when we finished, Sonia and I finished our ceremony, the circle broke toward the north, toward the Plaza Blanca, and they all filed out, returning to their place back in the Plaza Blanca. So that was a very beautiful, very unique, very interesting experience. Also, another one was the land has a platform out there overlooking the Plaza Blanca, and to the west of that, the land comes to a point before it changes. The Plaza Blanca land changes direction, and I was aware that there was one of the ancient ones, a Native American elder, sitting down, and before him were several young children, Native American children, and he was teaching them things they should know and how they could use that information to put into action. So that was a neat experience of how the elders teach the young children to carry on the tradition in a good way. Rick and Elisa were drawn to come out to this territory and look for a plot of ground where they could set up a House of Mica arbor and do ceremonies now and then. And so they came out and met a woman that I think they knew in this territory, and so they told her what they were looking for, and she referred them to our good friend just below the mesa here, Mary Tyndall. So they came over and told her what they were looking for, and so she knew of this land up here, and so she brought them up and showed them the land over there, especially one below the top bridge, where they have the arbor now. And so that's how we met them, and so we learned of their intention of finding the land, preserving it, and that, of course, agreed with what our intention was also. And at one time, Rick and Elisa went on a walk into the Plaza Blanca, and I was aware of the ancient ones again, watching us as we walked along the White Place, and they said that in their observation, they said a lot of people come here to view this land, and they're impressed by the beauty and the shapes of these particular formations, but they didn't in their own way, do a ceremony or a way of honoring the land. But they were glad that Rick and Lisa and the groups they bring together are doing that to honor the land in a good way, the way that Native Americans, the ancient ones, would have done it.